Cathedral Spires Trail. It takes you up and around many of the different needles. It's just unbelievable. And honestly, when you get about 3/4 of a mile in, it just feels like you're in the palm of nature. And our adventures started with a bang. We were less than a mile in until we hit a ginormous bison herd. Probably had to be, I don't know, we were estimating like 300 to 400 head.
They like to lick the road, and interestingly enough, they like to lick cars.
Yes, you do have to be careful. It is very...
Mostly young ones.
But it was fascinating to us. We had a calf start by walking up to our front bumper.
We turned our backup camera to see what he was doing back there, and...
yeah, he was licking our whole back bumper area.
He cleaned our backup camera so well.
But overall, Custer State Park in South Dakota is a recommended visit. It's just as good as many national parks that we visited.
We're J&B, and at the beginning of 2021, we hit the road. Permanently. We traded our city apartment for a constant stream of Airbnbs, new states, and places. And we wouldn't have it any other way. Come along with us as we explore all the U.S. and beyond has to offer. And join us as we continue
Living on the Way.
Hello there, and welcome back to Living on the Way with a quick take episode. These are episodes where we share quick facts or stories from the road. And in today's quick take, we are actually recording on location at Mount Rushmore. So if you're watching this via our video podcast, you will see a tiny sliver in the distance of the 4 stone sculptures as we've been traveling through the Black Hills and the Custer State Park.
We'll focus today on Custer State Park, which is where we've been hanging out for the past 2 days. And honestly, you could spend 2 weeks there, but we have some top tips if you visit. I'm Jay.
And I'm B. And today we're going to recap our 5 top recommendations for a Custer State Park visit. So let's start with number 1, the Needles Highway. You can do half of the Needles Highway without paying the Custer State Park fee, but the second half is kind of, I don't know, what'd you say, Jay?
Oh, it's a must-do. We were here 3 years ago. We didn't pay to enter the state park. This time we did. It's amazing.
And the 2 longer tunnels are once you've crossed over into Custer State Park. And those are cool. We actually got to do the one 3 times, two going and 1 back.
Yeah, we just couldn't get enough, honestly. And even the third time, I was seeing new things. It's very fascinating. Highly recommend going up there, not just for the tunnels, but just to actually see the needles themselves. That brings us to number 2. While you're up in the needles area, there is a must-do hike. If you're able to do hiking, and this hike's not crazy aggressive, but it is about 1.8 miles. It's an out and back, and about 450, 500 foot of elevation gain. But if you can do that, you've got to go up Cathedral Spires Trail. It takes you up and around many of the different needles. It's just unbelievable. And honestly, when you get about 3/4 of a mile in, it just feels like you're in the palm of nature because there's fingers jutting up to the sky all around you, and it's beautiful up there.
At exactly 0.55, that's where that palm is, because the trail splits 3 ways and it's a flat area.
Yeah, so that's number 2, must do. Now there's some other good hikes there, but that's the one. If you're only going to do one, that's the one to do.
Right. Now, the parking can be the problem because you come down a little hairpin on the Needles Highway, but definitely it's worth it.
That takes us to number 3 on our list, which is where we stayed last night.
Yeah, number 3 would be the State Game Lodge. That's where we stayed. Now, there's, I think, 3 or 4 choices of actual hotel rooms that you can book. I mean, there's lots of RV sites and that as well, but the State Game Lodge, I would say, was an ideal location, especially if you don't have as much time like we did. We had 2 days.
And it's got history. It's a National Historical Site. It was the summer White House for President Coolidge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and interestingly enough, the Mount Rushmore, one of the guys who worked on it, Jay may know the name, but...
while Coolidge was there, Bergmore came in to talk to him about his vision, his idea of building a Mount Rushmore type sculpture.
A story is that he got a room at the lodge near Coolidge's to convince him for national funding, and I guess it worked.
Absolutely. So can't beat the location, right in the heart of everything, and nice rustic experience.
They have historic rooms, and then we have kind of like the adjoining rooms. Those were recently remodeled. They also have cabins, but I mean, you can't go wrong staying in Custer State Park. Then leads us to number 4.
Delicious restaurants to eat at in very beautiful settings. These are not your chain restaurants in the middle of a strip mall.
You're paying for the view and the convenience of these places. And the one we did was Dockside.
Dockside I thought was very affordable. I mean,
Yeah.
less than $20 a plate for most of the dishes.
It's on Legion Lake, which is at the Legion Lodge. Beautiful kind of mountain-esque lake, but it has all the needles and spires all around it.
Very much framed up the lake perfectly.
If you don't have as much time to leave Custer and come back, it's definitely a great option.
Absolutely. If you're in the park and you want to stay in the park, look around for the different restaurants. We specifically at Dockside, we highly recommend eating at Dockside.
Yeah, I chose that because of the view. And they also have local beers on tap, which was nice as well. I enjoyed that.
Absolutely. The reason we went to dinner in the park is because that brings us to number 5.
One of our top experiences. We did the wildlife loop. We went down the west side.
Yes, we went counterclockwise.
And I think for the time of day we did it, because you always want to do any kind of wildlife drive in either early part of the morning or right before the sun will set, because it's cooled down and the animals are out again. So we went away from the sun. I think that was a great choice. I would do that again.
And our adventures started with a bang. We were
Right
less
away.
than a mile in until we hit a ginormous bison herd. Probably had to be, I don't know, we were estimating like 300 to 400 head.
They do a bison roundup once a year, and they say anywhere from 800 to 1,500 get rounded up. So as that's normally in September, I would say the herd in general is probably about 1,000. And I would say a third to, if not a half, were in the vicinity we were in.
So we just stopped and hung out, pulled off to the side of the road, as did many other nature lovers, and just observed the buffalo interactions for probably over an hour. Honestly, it was amazing just to watch the different personalities come out. And there was many calves there with their mothers. And of course, there was some young males and a couple larger old males as well.
Yeah, it was just a very big variety of the bison, and you can tell that they're used to cars. So they come and, the bison they jam up the road by crossing. They like to lick the road, and interestingly enough, they like to lick cars.
Yes, you do have to be careful. It is very
Mostly young ones.
weird, but it was fascinating to us. We had a calf start by walking up to our front bumper and start licking, I don't know, either the salt or the bugs off of it. Luckily, he moved on quickly. We didn't have to move out of the way. But then shortly thereafter, as we're watching, a couple juvenile bison come walking by the car on our left side, and one of them stops and gets a little idea in his head.
We turned our backup camera to see what he was doing back there, and
Yeah, he was licking our whole back bumper area.
he cleaned our backup camera so well. We're not trying to encourage him because we don't want him to
Yeah,
rub
we
his
kept
horns.
moving forward.
So we'd move forward a little bit,
few
and
feet, and then
he'd hang out for a minute and then be like, "No, I really do want this car. I want to lick it." So then he'd move forward some more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it was.
I don't know if it's good. It's probably not good. It was entertaining, but we were definitely trying to get him not to do it. We kept moving forward.
It's always those younger juvenile ones where it's still novel to them. The older ones aren't. I didn't see any of the older ones doing it.
Yeah, we call it the teenage ones because we saw them doing it on other cars as well.
So we've seen a lot of bison. We saw bison even this year when we were up in North Dakota, and that was a really cool experience. But this was such a varied age group of bison, as well as very interactive.
They were living it up as the cool of the day started.
Yeah, so that was an amazing experience. So then the rest of the wildlife loop didn't really have anything because that's where the bison were. But right as we were about to give up, I saw cars down in the bison corral where they corral them up. I was like, what are they looking at? Because the sun was right in our face. So we came up on it, and what did we see?
We saw some begging burros.
So donkeys, mules, I don't know. They once had a job in the area and then have been left to be feral for decades. People do feed them. You see that on the internet a lot. So I don't know if you're allowed to give them carrots. Nobody when we were there had carrots, but they were feeding them handfuls of grass. Be aware. They are wild animals. They are feral donkeys. Like,
Yeah, but
be
they were
aware.
very calm, and it was fun to watch 6 or 7 of them just slow munching their way along the road.
One tried to put his head in our car just to check to see if Jay had a carrot.
I definitely put the window up quickly because I didn't want him to
Didn't want drool in our car.
find another snack. And after leaving the burrow area, we did see a few more wildlife. Nothing quite like the craziness of the bisons, but we saw 5 or 6 different pronghorns, a couple males with giant antlers on them, a few mule deer, a couple white-tailed deer.
And they say you can see elk, and we didn't see the longhorn sheep in that area. We did see them up by our hotel, but they can also be in the area.
Number 5 on our list, recommend doing it anytime during the day. If you can, do it in the mornings or do it in the evenings, and that will just raise the chances of getting that really high concentration of wildlife. But overall, Custer State Park in South Dakota is a recommended visit. It's just as good as many national parks that we visited.
Right. And the story goes that the state got it first, or it would be a national park. Hopefully that gives you a little taste of Custer State Park. And if you've been, what was something you loved? Have you stayed in the RV parks? Did you stay in one of the hotels? We'd love to hear your stories with Custer State Park. But for today, that's our quick take. And we would really love it if you followed or subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, we will be
Living on the way.